Joan Jett's first music teacher told her girls couldn't play rock and roll. Her first band was panned by audiences who wouldn't accept women as rock stars. Her first solo album was rejected by 23 record labels. But that didn't stop her. This is the real-life story of Joan Jett. Joan Jett was born Joan Marie Larkin on September 22, 1958 in Wynwood, Pennsylvania. She asked for and received her first guitar for Christmas when she was 13 years old and was told at her first lesson that girls can't play rock and roll. Luckily, Jett didn't listen and kept rocking. Her family soon moved to West Covina, California, and soon started going to the area's glam rock epicenter, Rodney Bingenheimer's English Disco. She changed her last name to Jett and modeled her now famous look of black leather, black eyeliner, and a black shag haircut after British rocker Suzi Quatro, who inspired her musically as well as aesthetically. Jett told Rolling Stone, "What Suzi Quatro did for me was make me realize that girls could be successful playing rock and roll. I realized that if I wanted to do that, there were probably other girls like me who probably wanted to do it too." Jett met drummer Sandy West at Rodney Bingenheimer's via producer Kim Fowley. Fowley introduced them to other musicians with the idea of forming an all-girl rock band. The Runaways' official lineup consisted of Joan, Sandy, lead guitarist Lita Ford, bassist Jackie Fox, and lead singer Cherie Currie. Joan and Kim Fowley wrote most of the Runaways songs, including the famous Cherry Bomb. In 2010, Jett explained to the Irish Times, "We wanted to be the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin. We wanted to play dirty, sweaty, sexy rock and roll. So when people told us girls couldn't play, that wasn't what they meant. They meant that girls couldn't play rock and roll because it implied sex, which means that they're in charge and owning it." But sexist magazine reviews focused on their youth, gender, and looks instead of their music.
Rolling Stone hated the Runaways.
And behind the scenes, Fowley was abusive, calling the band members, quote, "dog," while he kept them on drugs and without money of their own, and encouraged the 16-year-old Cherie Currie to wear underwear on stage and pose for scantily clad photographs, comparing her to Lolita. Audiences were also abusive. Jett told the Irish Times, "It's difficult to get across to people what it's like to be spat at. After the gig, I would be dripping in spit and just put my head in my hands and cry out of sheer frustration. I just didn't get what the problem was, but I just can't back down, and being carried off was the only way you'd get me off the stage, not by scaring me off it." The Runaways released 5 albums in 4 years and toured the world. They found more respect and success overseas with #1 albums in both Australia and Japan, and a reception in Japan that Jett compared to Beatlemania. But behind the scenes, things deteriorated. According to Edgeplay, Fowley continued to mistreat band members, denying them schooling and healthcare and playing them against each other. Bassist Jackie Fox quit the band and was replaced by Vicky Blue, who was then replaced by Laurie McAllister. The Runaways played their last show on New Year's Eve 1978 in San Francisco and officially broke up in April 1979 after disagreements about their musical direction. Jett took the disillusion of her band hard. In her documentary Bad Reputation, Jett said, "How did I personally deal with the crumbling of the Runaways? I drank a lot, starting at 8 in the morning. I was angry. I didn't know how to make sense of a world that gave girls for playing guitars." But things soon turned around for Jett when she began working with producer Kenny Laguna, who would eventually become her manager. Laguna told the Tahoe Daily Tribune in 2007, "I worked with her on a film based on the Runaways' career called We're All Crazy Now and had a vision of what could be. She was fantastic, but no label would take her on. I love Joni, but never wanted to be her manager. But she became a cause." After a frightening hospitalization for a heart infection, Joan went to Europe and recorded and released a self-titled debut album. Back in the States, 23 labels rejected the album, so Laguna and Joan formed independent label Blackheart Records and released it themselves. Laguna said, "We couldn't think of anything else to do but print up records ourselves, and that's how Blackheart Records started. It was more or less Joan's idea to do it ourselves." An advertisement announcing that Jett was looking for a few good men led to the formation of the Blackhearts. The band started playing around Los Angeles and toured Europe before moving to New York. Jett told People in 1982 that she wanted a male band because forming another band with women would have been, quote, sacrilegious. Laguna's friend Neil Bogart re-released her self-titled solo Joan Jett as Bad Reputation on his new Boardwalk Records label. The album's lead single, also called Bad Reputation, remains iconic to this day. It was named the 29th best hard rock song of all time by VH1 in 2009 and serves as an answer song to Jett's critics and naysayers. But it was her next album that would make Jett an international superstar. Joan's first album with the Blackhearts, I Love Rock and Roll, came out in 1981 and was a surprise smash hit, reaching number 2 on the Billboard album chart. The title track, a cover of an Arrow song that Joan had performed live for years, became one of the best-selling singles of all time, topped the Billboard charts for 7 weeks, and was the third most popular song of 1982. The album remains Joan's most successful one, having sold 10 million copies. I Love Rock and Roll is Billboard's 56th all-time top song and is in the Grammy Hall of Fame. The song's popularity was bolstered by the constant play of its video on the newly influential and groundbreaking MTV, featuring Joan and the Blackhearts moodily swaggering and sneering through a live performance in a dive bar. The Blackhearts followed up this video with a meta one for Bad Reputation, depicting the rise to stardom that resulted from I Love Rock and Roll. Magazines that had insulted the Runaways now ran articles like Joan Jett is a very nice girl and Selling Records is the best revenge. 1982 also saw 2 more top 20 hits, including her cover of Crimson and Clover, which became notable for her decision to keep the pronouns and sing about loving a woman. The Blackhearts followed I Love Rock and Roll with 2 less successful albums, 1983's Album and 1984's Glorious Results of a Misspent Youth. Neither had a hit single, and the latter only limped to number 67 on the Billboard album charts. Critics weren't impressed either, with Rolling Stone writing that Album, quote, doesn't make a very strong argument for Jett as a major talent. In the 1986 album, Good Music fared even worse, only getting to number 105 on the Billboard album charts. But things turned around the next year when Jett appeared on the big screen opposite Michael J. Fox in the drama Light of Day. Critics panned her performance, but her theme song for the film, which was written by Bruce Springsteen, was a minor hit, landing at number 37 on the Billboard charts. That paved the way for her big 1988 comeback album, Up Your Alley, which included the top 10 hit I Hate Myself for Loving You, which charted at the same time as former Runaways bandmate Lita Ford's hit single, Kiss Me Deadly. But that success was short-lived. By the early 90s, the band was floundering again. Blackheart's drummer Tommy Price said that touring had become a grind. We were doing all of these one-off shows. We'd be going to crappy little towns doing a state fair. I went through a phase where I didn't really give a crap because they were gigs I felt like we shouldn't be doing. Jett didn't feel the same way, though.
It's always a different audience. You never know really what to expect, so you never really get bored, ever.
Though commercial success eluded Jett, artistically the decade led to a new creative flowering, as a resurgence of interest in punk led to the rise of grunge and the Riot Grrrl movements. After her record deal ended, Jett and producer Kenny Laguna regained creative control, and Jett began working with L7, calling the first time she saw the band live a, quote, religious experience. She also worked with Bikini Kill and recorded an album with the punk band The Gits after the murder of their lead singer Mia Zapata, with proceeds from the album and tour going to the murder investigation. Jett's sexuality has been a subject of discussion and conjecture throughout her career. She has never officially come out, yet has been an LGBTQIA+ icon for most of her time in the spotlight. In Edgeplay, Cherie Currie revealed that she and Joan had been romantically involved during the Runaways. Their relationship is also part of the plot of the 2010 movie The Runaways, which was executive produced by Jett. When asked about her sexuality, Jett told Rolling Stone she was, quote, all-inclusive and told out that fans should go ahead and, quote, assume away. When her documentary Bad Reputation screened at the LGBTQ film festival Outfest, though, some members of the community questioned its inclusion since Jett wasn't technically out. Jett responded to the criticism, telling the New York Times, "The more you want me to say it, the more I won't say it. I'll just do it. I'm telling my story every day on stage, loud. And if you choose not to hear it because you want me to do it in the way you want me to do it, fine. I'm not going to make you happy then. If this isn't for you, bye. But I think I declare every day, all day long. You know what I say? Eat me." Despite her love of and pride in the Runaways, Jett didn't appear in Vicky Blue's 2004 documentary Edgeplay, a film about the Runaways, and refused to let them use any songs she had written. Of the film, which included allegations about manager Kim Fowley's behavior, Jett told the Montreal Mirror, If there's gonna be a Runaways movie, it should be about what we accomplished, the tours we did, the bands we played with, the people we inspired. I'm not gonna participate in a Jerry Springer fest, bottom line. After Kim Fowley died in 2015, Jackie Fox came forward and revealed to the Huffington Post that he had a history of grooming young girls and that he had publicly raped her when she was in the Runaways while other band members, including Jett, watched but did not intervene. Through a representative, Jett denied any knowledge of the incident. She told the New York Times, "If he hurt people, that's not good. It's hard for me to listen to that, but I can't really speak to what they're saying." There's no question that Joan Jett has earned her place as an icon. And she's still going strong, from playing the Warped Tour in 2006 to producing films like The Runaways and Bad Reputation to making social distance music videos during the COVID quarantine. Entrepreneur, film producer, rocker, and fashion icon, Joan Jett's career is a testament to her ability to keep working and stay true to herself and her vision in the face of hardship and failure. In 2015, she was honored with the rest of the Blackhearts and Kenny Laguna with an induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In the Blackhearts Hall of Fame essay, writer Jan Ulzinski called her the last American rock star pursuing her considerable craft for the right reasons, a devotion to the true spirit of the music. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.